Well, good morning, and good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is the Maxine Phillips show. Life strategies is what we are all about. So today I want to share with you that I have such an exciting guest coming on that's going to be talking to us, and her name is Paula Snyder. But before we bring Paula on, let's just talk about Level Less, because the name of the company that I am the CEO and founder of is called Level Less. And Level Less is about success without levels. Now, we all know that we've been told the sky is the limit. But with Level Less, we believe the sky is not the limit, so don't limit yourself. It's important that you understand your natural, God given, innate abilities and strengths so that you can define what success looks like for you. You can create a strategy to reach not only a particular level, because remember, we said there are no levels, but you continue to achieve success. And then you want to develop yourself along the way and always deliver with excellence. And that's what Levelless is about. And it helps you to have a Levelless mindset. I had an opportunity about a week ago to speak at a TED Talk. And the TED Talk that I gave was on Write, Share, Live, Living Your Legacy. And I want to encourage each and every one of you to always live your legacy daily. So my guest today is Paula, and Paula is going to be sharing with us how she has lived her legacy through music. So at this time, I want to bring up Paula, who is a music artist. She's a motivational oh shucks, I'm sorry. She's a motivational. I just lost my train of thought, Paula.
Toastmaster.
Toastmaster. I can cut it out. She's a motivational and Toastmaster speaker, and she is a writer. So Paula has all these great attributes about herself, and she's going to be sharing with us how she has written, what she's going to be sharing, and how she has lived. She writes poetry and she writes songs. And before it's all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stay with us because she's going to be singing a song for us as well. So don't miss out. Tell someone to come on board, listen to what's going on tonight on the Life Strategy Show. Be ready to take notes and also be ready to go out there and listen to Paula's music, because it never fails. You're going to find something that's going to motivate you. All right, so come on in, Paula. Let's bring you up so that we can introduce you to the world. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, Maxine. It's so good to see you again. We connect often because it's so great to see the smile and the energy and the positive notes that we are on. Notes. Interesting that I say that, being a musician.
With music, there are music notes.
Correct.
And then we take written notes. And so we have to note what we're going to be doing every day. So there's a lot of different ways that we can use the word note. So that's great. So Paul, I know we're going to be talking about living your legacy through music, but talk to me a little bit about first and help our viewing audience to understand, how did you even come about getting into this music industry?
Well, first of all, I was very lucky to have a father who loved music, and my whole family grew up just singing for fun because he'd take out the guitar or the violin after dinners, after parties, and he'd get even the cousins involved, and we all harmonized together just for fun. And even to keep us entertained on long drives in the car, he would have us singing together and that kind of thing. So I grew up enjoying music. Of course, I was in high school choruses and all that, but nobody ever thought I stood out. I mean, they liked me because I could stay on key and because I could sing my part, but nobody ever called on me for solos and I wasn't recognized. But I always loved to sing, and it always made me feel good. And when people asked me what I wanted to do, I said I wanted to be a singer, but I fell into it by accident. Well, I knew I wanted to be a singer, but I didn't have a plan at the time. I mean, do we really plan that much as little kids?
But I love the fact that you say you did not have a plan, because here at Level Less, that's one of the things that we do. And we start with our youth. We help them to understand what career path that they're to take so they can put a plan or a strategy in place. And that way they know how to work that plan. And you indicated that you've always had a love for music, but you're one of the fortunate ones, Paula, because not everybody can identify what they have a love for. But as this assessment that we do call an ability assessment, it helps them to understand, what do you have a passion for? What would you do in your spare time if you had just time to, do nothing with? And this is what you would spend your time doing. And when you find that, that's when you find your passion. When passion and purpose crossed, then that's where happiness and fulfillment happens. So it's so good to see that smile come across your face when you talk about music, because you light up like a light bulb, right? Like the Christmas lights. Okay, so I'm not sure we frozen or not. Paula, can you see me? Well, Paula, I am so glad that you talked about that, you discovered this while you were a youth, but the thing about it is that you are fortunate. You discovered that you had this ability. But Paula, there are so many of us who did not discover at a young age that we had an ability. And whatever the ability is, we just had not discovered it. But I'm so thankful to hear that you say that you did. But here at Levelist, we even have an ability assessment that helps anyone from 14 years of age and older to identify exactly what are your abilities that you were born with and what are your strengths. And that way it helps them to navigate and map into the best career, to choose that best career for them. So what I want to talk about with you, Paula, is that you're living your legacy through your music. And I am so excited about that. I cannot sing worth a whip, but I love music. So I can be transparent about that. Don't ask me to sing it, but I can listen to it and dance to it. But I want you to talk about from the write, the share, and live perspective. So let's first talk about from the writing what kind of writing you do, what have you done? Talk to me a little bit about the songs that you sing and how you even introduces them to the world.
As a writer, I mean, again, I never thought I was a writer either. And one of the things that I will say about kids is we might recognize what we like, but we are not often acknowledged by the adults who can give us those opportunities. So it's always good to have that supportive adult on our side, or teachers or other friends or whatever, to encourage us to go ahead and pursue that. When I was younger, if I was angry about something, or my boyfriend was cheating, or different things going on, I used to write all kinds of things. I'd write letters that maybe I wouldn't send, just to get my feelings out there.
Right.
And I don't know that I kept all of that, but throughout the years when I was younger, I did do a lot of writing that way, getting my feelings out. And in 1971, I'll tell you my age. I'm 72 now. In 1971, I actually took a hitchhiking trip across the country spontaneously. That was not planned. And when my father found out I had left, he said, write a journal. My mother says, I'll send you a plane ticket. But I wrote the journal, and I still have some of that journal with me. But at the time, I started writing songs, and I was writing songs about my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd sing them maybe to friends, or maybe sometimes I'd have opportunities to sing them in a coffee shop or something like that. And getting those feelings out as a song took them out of my inner self and made them more universal for everyone else. So it took the strong emotions away from me and gave me a little more peace, and it kind of filtered it out so it wasn't so pulling me down.
Right.
Okay. And through the years, I've written a lot of songs. I started writing on that hitchhiking trip, and I never actually recorded any of them until I turned 55, which is very funny. But throughout the years, I performed a lot of my songs live in front of other people at nightclubs, at yeah, I traveled, I did parties
Right.
and all kinds of things. And then I started writing about different kinds of experiences, or writing from my experiences instead of writing because I was experiencing something. So if I saw a bird on my mailbox, I wrote a song for kids about a blue jay in my mailbox. Now, the blue jay wasn't really in my mailbox, but it gave me an idea.
Right.
And also, as I worked jobs in between, there were times in my life when I had to make changes and I was on the job. Maybe I would be called upon to do a little presentation for somebody's birthday. And I started writing for that cause. For instance, one of my first, when I call these verses to go, back when I was living in San Diego, I was invited to a baby shower for a friend, and I was a down and out musician. I didn't have any money to buy a gift. I wrote a song and I actually notated it out on paper and gave it to her as a gift.
That was
And
nice.
one of those songs, that song actually made it to my first album in 1950, in 19 or 2006, when I first released an album called Renewed. It was actually came out in 2007, and I included that lullaby on the song, and that's
Mhm.
called Child of Littles. But since then, at work or when I have been invited to do things, I might customize a song or a poem for somebody else. I hear a little bit about their story, or I hear what they're feeling at the time, or I hear what someone else wants to convey about their love for that person. And I put that into words. And so I'm actually now writing more that way. I also write stories. I have a lot of stories, and I've got my hitchhiking trip I'm going to write a novel about, I'm sure, when I get to it. But I do a lot of writing. I've been published. I've had a few stories published, and
Okay.
I've actually been working on a book for a while about staying inspired. But I'm so busy being inspired and acting inspired that I haven't finished the book yet, but it's there. It's there.
Well, listen, I just wrote down several things. I love the fact that you talked about renewed and you talked about when you journaled, it's therapeutic,
Right.
your journaling experiences. And,
Exactly.
with my clients, that's one of the things that I talk about and help them to understand the importance of journaling. And ladies and gentlemen, Paula has music out there on YouTube that you can listen to and you can find and you can download. Please go out there and patronize her. And the other thing when it comes to journaling, you can purchase a journal or you can go to even my website and purchase a journal that I've created. And the creation of the journal is about you transforming and you transform it into who you have been created to be. And so you journal about it. And so Paula, I love the fact that you said even with journaling, you became renewed in a lot of different areas. And that's what journaling helps you to do. And you talked about the letters that you wrote. When I first started journaling and I started talking about journaling, it made me think of the color purple. And I know the color purple is resurfacing and we're just going to be, in the theaters on Christmas Day. But the thing about the color purple is that she wrote letters and she wrote letters to God. And that was her way of coping and dealing with the things that were going on in her life. And we can also write letters to ourselves. We don't necessarily have to mail them anywhere, but it
Yeah.
helps us to find peace. It helps us to cope. We talk about the mental capacity and the mental awareness of what's going on today, especially after COVID. And now it has put a havoc on everybody's lives, but we have to refresh. We have to get renewed. And then we have to repurpose because many of us, if you have a purpose and you find out that you need to pivot, and that's what we'll talk about next is sharing. And sharing causes us to have to pivot depending on what's going on in the world. And I heard you say that even in you getting inspired, that you found yourself having to do things differently while you were going through those experiences,
Yeah.
hitchhiking. Now, who would ever thought of hitchhiking, right? But look at how it has brought you full circle in life, not only writing, but now here you are sharing this information with the world because we're in 200 countries, Paula. So no telling who's going to hear this story
Yeah.
that you're telling. So thank you
Now,
for being here and just sharing. So what additional sharing of information do you have for us?
well, certainly, the motivational aspect of it is that there are a lot of ways to use your gifts and your interests. I didn't start with actually knowing I was gonna get paid to sing. I knew I didn't wanna be a teacher. I knew I didn't want to be an opera singer, which is what was more available for me. And I went to college to be an occupational therapist, so I was in the medical field. I wasn't even doing my music. But one of the OT students asked me to sing at his wedding, and I went to the church to sing at his wedding, and we were able to do popular music at the time. And the priest kept calling me back to do more weddings. He put me into business. So I realized the opportunity. So I think that one of the things that I would say to people is that there's a lot of opportunities in front of us. We just have to recognize that it's an opportunity.
Yes,
And if we don't try it, we won't know how that works.
correct.
Sometimes it's going to work out. Sometimes we have to adjust how we do it.
Correct.
And then we can still do it. For instance, throughout the time I've been a musician, I started by singing at weddings. Then I traveled all over the country performing in nightclubs and hotel lounges. And then I got married, and my partner and I did a lot of private parties and country clubs and political rallies and various things in music. And then I started an entertainment agency because I enjoyed booking myself in these. I mean, I didn't wait for someone to give me the work. I found work and I asked for money because I was worth it. And then I did a good job and I got called back. So there's a lot of ethics involved there too.
Right.
But then I had my daughter and my marriage dropped apart, and I was a single mother when she was a year old. And I wasn't able to do the nightclubs because I was taking care of her. That was more important to me. So I pivoted and I stopped and I got what they call a real job in my world, but I did the things that I needed to do to be a mother. When she was 16, she invited me to sing with her. And that got me started all over again. We actually negotiated a deal with her boss. We got paid to do a holiday program together as a duet. And I remembered how much I missed music, and it brought me right back into it. Now, she also had an amazing voice, and I was a mother encouraging her to go where she wanted to go with that. But she didn't want to go into music, but she wanted it for herself, and she had
Right.
it. I started doing senior and healthcare music. People said, "Why don't you do senior and healthcare?" And I asked, "Do they have a budget?" And they said, "Yes, they do." Because I still wanted to get paid for what I was used to doing. I started singing in nursing homes, and I sing in memory care, and I sing in group homes for seniors, and I sing in independent living situations and community centers where there are seniors. And I learned more music. Now, this is when I was in my 40s when I started that. So I
Okay.
learned more music. I learned music through decades and decades. I knew music all the way back to the American Revolution, and I have current music too. But I learned music to address my crowd. And I learned how to create themes of music and entertain as an entertainer for that crowd. And then someone says, "Can you entertain kids?" So I became Grandma Paula and I started entertaining kids like my father did with us. And then someone says, "Can you come to my house during COVID and do a singing telegram?" I said, "Well, I'm not gonna come in the door, but I can stand outside and sing to
Right.
you." Now, I
Right.
was doing singing telegrams as well. People wanted this, and I found a way to monetize everything that I love to do.
Right. I love this story for so many different reasons because you definitely are sharing not only stories, but you're sharing how you were able to pivot and you pivoted based on what you heard from your potential customers.
Exactly.
So they asked, could you do? And you said yes, and you did. And now it
Right.
sounds like to me that you did it with the standard of excellence as well and with quality, because people kept bringing you back. And that's one of those the D's that we talk about from the level is mindset. You have to be able to deliver and execute with quality and have a standard of excellence. And I love the fact that, ladies and gentlemen, please take note of this, because Paula indicated is that she knew her worth and she was able to negotiate her prices based on her worth. And worth comes in so many different ways. You know, it comes with your experience. It comes with the education that you had to pay to acquire some of the experiences. It comes with the experiences that you were out in the world, you know, gathering the experiences. So it's considered time. And so you have to put all those factors together as you're coming up with what are you worth. So don't just look at it as a one-dimensional. It's multi-dimensional, and you have to bring it all together to understand your worth. So always understand your worth so you can advocate for yourself in order to be paid for what you truly are worth. And so I love that about Paula and what you're saying, and the fact that kids, seniors, and then singing telegrams.
Mm-hmm.
So you never limited yourself. So that's why I say the sky is not the limit. So here at Levelers, we believe that, don't consider yourself having a certain level that you have to acquire. That's why it's called success without levels, because the sky is not the limit. So don't limit yourself in what it is that you're doing. But it's important that you understand your strengths. And Paula, you understand your strengths. And listen to these stories, ladies and gentlemen. Paula is living her legacy through music. I want to make sure that you grasp that, because that's so important. When you're living your legacy, how are you living it? And you need to be living it now, and not when you're no longer here. People talking about the legacy that you left. No, you need to be appreciating it and enjoying it now. So Paula, you talked about writing. We've talked about sharing. And let's talk a little bit more about how you are living your legacy even now at 72.
Right. Again, as I have gone through different things, I adjust. I adjust to what happens in my life, and I don't stop. I just find another way. I call that a little bit of creative genius, and I do talk about that sometimes when I'm doing talks or motivational speaking. But the thing that we need to recognize, there's also times that we want to have our space and our joy. So we have to balance what we do with the ability. You know, I'm making money. Could I make more money? Could I be a star? You know, I could be, but that's not what I wanted in my life. I wanted the balance. I wanted the ability to have a family. I wanted to be loved and be cared for. And I did actually find another husband when my daughter went to college. I'm married now 21 years. So it can happen again. If you know, and he's a good partner. But what we have to recognize is that if things aren't going our way, or let's say in the music field, everyone wants to be a musician and they want to be famous and they want to be known for their rap songs, and everyone's out there. How do you compete with that?
Right.
You don't need to compete. You need to find your niche, and go for it.
Yes.
Now, I know that I'm not going to compete with an indie writer who's, got 1 million followers. I'm satisfied with what I do because I'm still living it. I'm still able to sing. I'm still able to make people happy. I'm still able to bring memories for people who are losing their memories. There's a
Right.
lot of rewards. So you have to recognize the rewards. And you also have to decide sometimes that you're not going to take everything that comes your way.
Right.
I get requests to dress it, with the singing telegrams, dress up in a costume and come embarrass somebody. That's not my style.
Right.
And so I have a reputation for doing heartfelt singing telegrams and for rewriting song lyrics that customize. And that's what I do. I get 5-star reviews and I get nice tips too. But it's more about the reward for me that I can. That's what drives me.
Mhm.
That makes me feel good. I'm still doing this. I'm still able to do this. And that's what I think that sometimes, even when we're not recognizing what it is that we do well, know that there is something that you do well, even if it's hammering nails. And it doesn't mean you have to do that for a living, but you start with that. The ability to do it and taking yourself out there and making yourself do it, and the success that you have with that one little thing rolls over and allows you other successes.
Yes.
That
Yes.
worked. I can try
Yes.
the I'm more confident now to try this other thing. And that's,
Yeah.
there's so many ways to look at this, but I'm living my legacy every day. I'm also helping my mother who's 95. And I'm balancing my life now with the things I love. I'm still earning enough income to pay my bills, but I'm balancing my life with the things I love, whether it's singing, which I do every day and every week, at least some. And it's about taking a walk with a friend or going to my mother and helping her with something that she needs, or going to the doctor with her and understanding. There's a lot of things I've learned, and I can go back on my experiences if I wanted to earn income on just about anything I've done. You can find a way to earn income on anything you do.
That's right. That's right. And like you said, you just have to you have to want it, and you have to be ready to do it, and find the balance,
See
and
the opportunities too.
and see the opportunities. Because wait, and looking, I always say, look for the opportunities. Because if you start searching for opportunities, they are there. It's just a matter of, are you seeing how you fit in, and
Exactly.
how does it match up and link up with what you have the ability and the strengths to do?
Right.
If it does not, and you come across it, and this is another opportunity for you to share it with someone else that you know has that ability, that is seeking to do that type of work. Then go on and pass it along, pay it forward. So you can always do
Exactly.
that. That's how you can live your legacy as well. I love the fact that you said you and your daughter
Yeah.
did, an event together. I thought one of the things that popped into my brain, of course, is transforming generations and leaving a legacy. And that immediately popped into my brain, and I could just see the two of you on stage singing, and it's like mother, daughter, transforming generations. Her daughter heard her sing all these years, and now she has an ability to do the same. How awesome is that? So tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about that experience and how you felt.
Well, when she invited me at 16, first of all, the fact that she included me in something at the age of 16 was amazing because, a lot of times when we're teenagers, we're not particularly interested in our family. We want to do what we want to do. And it was a joy because I was very close to her to be invited to do that. And she is now 40.
Okay.
And we still do some of this singing together. Every year we do some singing together. And she comes and I pay her to come sing for my clients with me. She's got an amazing voice. So she didn't choose to go into music as a field, but she still loves it. She loves
Right.
music. She loves art. She still explores what she wants to keep her balance.
Right.
But when I'm singing with my daughter, even if we haven't sung for a while, it's kind of like riding a bike or something that we've always done a lot of, her walking when we're used to walking, that even though we haven't sung for a while, it just takes a couple of seconds to warm up, and then we're blending, and the
That's great.
harmony and just the looking at each other. People, when they see us, they see that joy between us too, and it's just amazing.
Oh,
And I hope that that never stops, but it's up to her. She's gotta still agree to be in my life that way. Yeah.
right. Well, listen, I can't wait till you all do it again. So please invite me. And when you invite me, if it's open to the public, let's make
Yes.
sure we announce it so the public can get a chance to and see this bonding between mother and daughter and the transforming of generations and leaving your legacies together. I think that's awesome. I mean, absolutely beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have something that you're doing with your family, you're transforming generations and leaving legacies, hey, contact me, at info@levelisco.com, and let's talk about it. Let's bring you on the Life Strategy Show so that you can share what you are doing with your family to leave a legacy and living your legacy while you're here. Okay, so Paula, as we start wrapping up, I know that you probably have something in the pipeline or something that you'd like to talk to our viewing audience to talk to them first about where to go find your music.
Sure. I am published. I have a lot of original music out there. Anywhere you stream, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Spotify, you can go to Pandora. My artist name is Paula C. Snyder. Make sure you put that C in there. And I also have the same profiles under the name of Grandma Paula for little kids. If you have little kids at home or your grandchildren, or you just like little kids' songs. So my kids' songs can be generic songs. Actually, I could probably sing one without using an instrument right now. It's called Start the Day with a Song. I wrote this for a little kids group, but it's just a real simple song. Start the day with a song. It will last all day long. Let your voice sing high, way on up to the sky. Let your spirits rise in a happy surprise. No, you can't go wrong if you start the day with a song. So I recorded that song as Grandma Paula, and each verse has an add-on. So I have you singing along with me, or singing as a response to me, or harmonizing, or doing percussion in the background. It's a
Oh,
really
that's
fun song,
nice.
but it's universal. I've even done that with adult crowds and got them to sing along.
That's
So
nice. That's nice. That's really, really nice. I
uh,
love that. I used
yeah.
to sing to I can't sing like that, but I used to sing to my kids when they were little, but the whole thing of it is they didn't know I couldn't sing. So, mama sounded really good during that time.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Until
They
they
don't
got
know. So
older.
do sing with your children. There's
Yeah.
actually a company called Music Together that has classes that gets parents and children to sing together.
Okay.
And the children, they don't know whether you're good or bad. They know you're
Right.
having fun and that you're interacting with them.
Yeah.
That's the connection. Do not leave your children to devices if you can give them something of yourself.
I love it. I love it. And that's an experience in itself. So you're talking about living your legacy, and that's a memory that child can carry on for the rest of their life, not only hearing the song, but just having interacted with you, doing it with them. And it's
Right.
priceless. It's absolutely priceless. All
I
right.
do want to say that
So,
if you want to get a hold of me for a service or just to talk, you can go to my website, pcsnydercreativeoffices.com. And I think that Maxine will post that
I
somewhere,
will. Yeah, I will.
because that gives you everything I do. I do have some stories out there. I have stories published. I do have a story that I wrote recently. It's called Hey Gertrude. That is an alternate story to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from the viewpoint of Dancer, uh,
Okay.
the reindeer. And I think that next year I might write a song about that to go with it. But there's a lot of stuff out there. I do have music, I do have publishing. If you want to find some of my stuff, well, the music is the easiest to find on YouTube, again, under Paula C. Snyder or Grandma Paula. And everything else, just connect with me. I'm glad to have conversations. I'm glad to support. And I love networking and helping others connect with their selves. So I'm
Excellent.
open to that.
Well, the last question that I have is what would you tell your 17-year-old self about, all the things that you have experienced and know now in life?
I'd tell my 17-year-old self to be open minded, and that although love should be a part of life, it's not the be all and end all, or loving a partner or a man or, is not the be all and end all of life, because there's so many different kinds of love. And we
Mm-hmm.
have to love ourselves before the love can come to us as well. So all of that is, and not be afraid to express ourselves. And if the people we need to listen aren't listening, find the people who are listening and have them help you express what you need to express to the world.
Right. All right, so we're going to take a pause right now. But now I'm going to have to cut this out, Paula. So talk to me a little bit about the ability assessment. So do some encouraging words, because I'm going to use what I just asked you for that 17-year-old, and also lead into importance of understanding your ability at an early age possible.
And the poem.
And the poem, go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah, we had a poem
Yeah. All right, so
wait.
go ahead.
So with an assessment, I mean, even in high school, I took an assessment of interests that helped guide me to the field I was in. It helps to understand who you are and all the opportunities that are available to you in a given moment. And if you think about it also, the way the world turns, there are more opportunities, and we can create our own opportunities that weren't there before. Think about technology and how fast the world has grown with that. We
Yeah.
don't know everything that's possible to us.
Right.
So we can also be that. So if you work with Maxine and take an assessment, she can help guide you to find the who you are today, and to give you that mindset to move forward and find more later on, because there
Excellent.
is no limit. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but we know we can handle it, and that we can creatively find what we love in tomorrow if we start with that mindset.
Right. Excellent. Well, Paula, thank you so much. But ladies and gentlemen, we're not finished. We're not finished, because Paula has written a poem, and she writes a poem every year, if I'm not mistaken, right, Paula?
I've been trying to do that, yes.
And so she is going to read to us her poem, and we're going to put it on the screen so that you can read along with us. All right. So
You can
Paula,
open
let's
up the
see.
screen sharing again.
Okay, I think, let me just double check. Okay. There you go.
So here is a poem I wrote for this year. And I did the border artistically as well. I was trying to be generic this year. I didn't want it to be about one religious holiday or another. It's about all the holidays anybody might celebrate in December.
Okay.
And the colors of the background include all of the colors of everyone's holidays of December. Whether you are Christian or Jewish or Buddhist or don't believe in religion at all, everything is for you. This is my poem for 2023. Love and friendship, warm human connection, covered in thoughtful, deep reflection. Mouth-watering aromas fill up our kitchens as we prepare the foods of our family's traditions. Candle flames flicker, colored bulbs sparkle. Cozy blankets by fireside warm us into the night. Whether snow-covered driveways or tropical breezes, all over the world, you see, the fragrance of nature envelops and pleases. With giving, receiving, caring, and laughter, we tell stories and sing about peace ever after. No matter which holiday, rhyme, or its reason, embrace all in joy as we celebrate the season. Wishing you prosperity, good health, and elation. Welcome the new year, fueled with sweet inspiration. Back to you, Maxine.
Beautiful. So we'll take that off a screen share. Excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot end it any other way than having that beautiful poem read by Paula C. Snyder. And that's where you can find all of her information. So as we close today, we're bidding you a Happy holidays. And I always end the show with, I believe in you, and I trust you believe in yourself. Until next week, same time, same station. I'll be looking forward to having you to be a part of the conversation. Take care.
Take care.